What up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 2, Episode 2. Icy Apology is the title of the episode. Alright, you guys, so before we get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other review on the channel, or any other video on the channel, and are not already subscribed, that means you guys are doing me a solid favor. Stop taking me out on a date and having me pay for it at the end of the date. Hit that subscribe button. Who the fuck is this? Oh, Miri. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified of when I drop anything else. Share the video. Now, with that out the way, let's go ahead and discuss The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Now, much like with Potomac, it wasn't much with this episode, but let's get into it, shall we? All right, you guys. So, I was going to start from bottom to top, but I can't. Because at the bottom of my list is Whitney, and I really want to get into Whitney, so I don't want to, because she was hilarious. So let's talk about Jenny. So in this episode, we did not have much from Jenny. Now, if you guys watched the Potomac review, I don't know which one's going to go up first. Because last week, I uploaded Potomac first, but Salt Lake City uploaded first. I don't know how, but that's just how the cookie crumbled, right? So if you guys are watching this video and Salt Lake, whichever one is up first, it doesn't really matter. But this was a filler episode, much like Potomac was a filler episode. So Jenny, she's with her kids in the kitchen. She's cooking. Now those noodles that she was cooking with, they were rainbowy. I'm like, damn, I did not know that Skittles made noodles. Did not know that Skittles made noodles, right? So we found out a little bit more about Jenny, right? And I was looking at Jenny's husband, Dewey, right? Because I remember last week's episode, Jenny said Dewey looked good from the neck down, not the neck up. And I was looking at Dewey's face. I'm like, well, he's actually a handsome guy. So I don't know what Jenny sees, but hey, whatever. So Jenny's with her kids. Jenny's a full-time mom, right? So Jenny owns some businesses. I forgot what she said the businesses were, but she owned some businesses. And when she had her kids, I think it was after her third child, she decided that she just wanted to sell the business and be an at-home mom, right? So they're at the dinner table, right? And it's Jenny and her daughter on one side, then her sons on the other side, and Dewey at the head. But there's space for a fourth person, right? So Dewey's thing is, he asked the kids, do they want to have another sibling? And Jenny said, no. She is not squeezing another child out of her vagina. Her vagina got this big, she said. She doesn't want another kid. I mean, I don't blame Jenny. Hell, I mean, look at your kids at this point, right? Your oldest son, he'll probably be getting out of high school pretty soon. The youngest one, the younger two, they probably in elementary or middle school. I wouldn't want to start over again. I really wouldn't. Like my cousin started over. She didn't. When people start over, I don't understand. I'm like, especially when you have a kid that's like a teenager, and then you have a baby. I'm like, how do y'all start? Especially if your kids are grown. How do y'all? I couldn't do it. But hey, let's move on. All right, guys. Next up, let's talk about Lisa, aka Meredith 2.0. So Meredith 2.0, aka Lisa, is going to be introducing Jenny and Jen to each other. I'm like, ugh, terrible combination at that. Jen is a despicable human being, but we're going to talk about Jennifer Shaw a little bit later in the review. So she's taking her to meet Jen the nutcase, right? Now, Meredith 2.0 believes that Jenny and Jen will hit it off. I'm like, why do you believe that? Unless Jenny is a nutcase like that other one, then they may hit it off, right? So then they finally make it, right? And Lisa asks Jen how is she. She says she's good, right? So then Lisa tells Jen about her and Meredith breaking bread. Jen and I Meredith and I broke bread with each other, and I believe that so Meredith has some hurt feelings that can be resolved. How in the fuck can Meredith's hurt feelings be resolved? Jen's raggedy ass is out there liking tweets about her fucking family. Brooks in particular. Like, Brooks is what she's liking tweets about. And like I said in last week's review, I saw the tweets. I literally saw some of those tweets because I went to Jen's Twitter last season, right? And I was just being nosy because I actually was trying to see if she had blocked me, because I know last season I ripped into her on Twitter on my videos. So I'm like, I was just looking to see if she had blocked me, and she didn't block me. The thing is, Jen likes the shit and she retweets some of the shit, right? And I'm just like, damn, these are some of the most disgusting tweets I've ever saw. I'm like, girl, you would think that he said your vagina was loose. You would think that he said your vagina looked like cottage cheese. Like, you would think he said your vagina looked like string cheese. Like, you would think he said something like negative about your vagina. All Brooke said was he saw your vagina. That's all Brooke said was I saw her vagina. You know, when she kicked her legs up, I saw her vagina. That's all Brooke said. So I'm trying to defend my vagina. Girl, go to hell. But Jen says she doesn't understand, and she's apologized. You apologized to Meredith about the shit you said about she and Seth last season. That's what you apologized for. You have not apologized about this Brooks situation, right? So then Jen said that he said something derogatory about her vagina. Jen, what did the kid say about your vagina that was so derogatory? He didn't say nothing bad about your vagina. All Brooks said was he saw your vagina. And if that sent you into a tailstorm, headspace, whatever it is, y'all know what I'm trying to say. If that sent you into such a bad way, him saying he saw your vagina, then my dear, maybe you should have put on some panties. Just saying. Why are you going to someone's house with no panties on? Like, I mean, I get going out places, and I get it. I get it. There are times that you don't want to wear underwear, and there are times that you do want to wear underwear, right? But was that the appropriate time? Just asking, right? And like I just said a minute ago, those posts that Jen likes, they're very disgusting. And they're going to come up again in this episode. But let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys, let's move over to Mary. Mary is a mess. Mary's a mess. I don't care what nobody say. Mary is a whole hot bed of mess. So, Mary, in this episode, Mary, I guess finally, after living in that house for a whole fucking year, Mary realized that house is atrocious. Like we said that last season, that house was a mess. So her cousin Joe comes over to the house, right? And he's a contractor. At least Mary said that at least she can say that this is her cousin, right? Because y'all remember Charlinda, Mary said that was her aunt's, that was her grandmother's niece. However she described that woman. I'm like, girl, your cousin? But she says he is the worst contractor you ever want to see in your life. I'm like, well, damn, that is what kind of relationship does Mary have with her family? Like, I really, really want to know that. Like, what kind of a relationship does Mary have with her family? It cannot be a good one because, girl, you talk shit about him. The way you talked about him and the way you did Charlinda last season, yeah, no ma'am. And then the fact, did she say her aunt's daughter? I believe she said her aunt's daughter or something like that. Whew, Mary Cosby. Now, when they were looking at that house, I'm like, good God, this house is ugly as fuck, and this furniture is terrible. The decor is terrible. Who decorated this? I'm glad Mary at least said that, when she bought one thing, she must have been on her menstrual cycle. I'm like, hey, at least you said it, right? Then she talked about Robert Jr. He doesn't talk to her, right? So he's going through the little teenage phase, right? And she talked about his girlfriend, right? She would like to buy him a girlfriend. I'm like, Mary, don't say that. Don't say that on camera. Then she told him, like, if he gets ready to do something with a girl, if it smells fishy down there, to run. I was like, oh my God. You can't make this shit up. But Mary, My God. My God, my God. But let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. Next up, let's talk about Meredith real quick. It ain't gonna be much with Meredith, so we're gonna get through this one pretty quick, right? So we see Meredith, right? She get a call from Brooks, and then Seth comes in. So Seth came in with a mask that Meredith wore on the finale episode last season. You guys remember the mask that covered her entire face? And so she and Seth, they're all lovey-dovey. They're getting ready for dinner. Brooks just had dinner with his friend. And Meredith is talking to Seth, and she just tells Seth that, Jen is still attacking Brooks on social media. And, she's talking about his sexuality, and me, Seth. Like, I don't deal with that. Like, don't attack my family. And I get it, Meredith. The kids should be off limits, right? Don't mention the kids. Just because he said he saw your vagina, I just don't understand how that sent you into sent you on this path of whatever you're on, right? So Brooks has not, he's not identifying. He's not. She said that Brooks is not identified as gay. I'm like, I thought that was public knowledge. No shade. I thought we knew that Brooks was gay last season. I'm just saying, I thought that was public knowledge, but I guess it wasn't public knowledge. And if Brooks doesn't want to come out and say he's gay, that's his prerogative, right? Ain't nobody judge him. Like I said before, I just don't like the tirade that Jen goes on. Like I said, we're gonna talk about that tirade in just a little bit. Jen went on a whole tirade about her castmates. First it was Mary, about Mary not wanting to go to the 7-Eleven because there were black men outside. Then it was, Meredith and Seth and their relationship. Who is it going to be next? Like, right? Who's next? Who's next on the hit list? We're going to talk about the next person that was on her hit list because I saw some of the stuff too. Let's move on. All right, you guys. Heather. I love me some Heather, but I think Heather needs to get some therapy, something, because the fact that you want to be friends with the likes of Jen Shah, girl, you are a glutton for punishment. So she's meeting Whitney at a clothing store, right? So they look at the clothes. So then they sit down, right? And Heather tells Whitney that Jen FaceTimed her, right? And that Jen wants to have lunch with her, and they're gonna have it, the next day, right? Heather, I love you, but you seem very desperate, babe. Like, you seem really desperate for a friend, and a person like Jen is not your friend, right? If she believes, if in her heart of hearts she believed that you were racist, she ain't your friend. And why would you want to be friends with someone that can get on social media and say that you're racist? No. Like, I wouldn't be friends with the likes of Jen, right? So Whitney's face was mine. She was like, when she said she's having lunch with Jen, right? So Whitney tells her, be careful. Like, you don't with Jen, you don't know what you're gonna get from that Tasmanian devil, right? I really want to be friends with somebody like Jen. Jen is just a horrible and despicable human being. That's all I gotta say. Like, she's despicable. I could not be friends with someone that has that level of immaturity, because that's really what it is. She's immature. Jen needs to seek therapy, as well as Heather. Love you, Heather. I just want Heather to figure out why she puts up with that kind of abuse, right? Because that is abuse, right? That's abuse. That is abuse. That is definitely abuse. So I just want Heather to figure that part out. And when she figures that out, drop Jen like a hot fucking potato. Like, drop her. But let's move on, you guys, and discuss Whitney. Because Whitney in this episode killed me. All right, you guys, let's talk about Whitney. So Whitney and Justin, they're having dinner, right, with their kids. So Whitney is talking about the fact that she made a chore chart for the kids, right? And then she tells the kids to go to the room so that she and Justin can have some time to talk to each other, right? So Whitney's talking about her business to Justin, and her business is doing good, right? And Justin's thing is he doesn't want them to overlook the family. And Whitney agrees to that, right? She doesn't want everything to feel like, I know she was talking about sex. She doesn't want that to feel like a chore, right? And with the kids, you know, she doesn't want to overlook her family. She wants things to go back to the way that they were before, right? She wants them to be a team. And so Whitney, she, like I said, she wants things to be the same as before. And she says, I need sex as much as you do, Justin. This is why I love Whitney, because Whitney just keeps it real. Because Whitney was talking about, you know, she doesn't want the sex to feel robotic. And the producer says, what the hell is robotic sex? So Whitney was like, you know, like this. So pretend like she's sitting in Justin's lap and she's riding him. Then she got up she got in doggy style and she got in doggy style. And it was just like he was just pumping her. And she's just like, okay, yeah, that feels great. And she said, but it used to be like, you know, like she's backing it up on him. I was like, oh my God, Whitney. I fucking love Whitney, man. I love me some Whitney. Like I said in one of my reviews last season, I just really, really, really want to meet Whitney. I have to meet Whitney one day in my life. I have to meet Whitney. Gotta meet Whitney, because I would have a ball with fucking Whitney. I just know I would. I would have a fun time with Whitney and Heather. I know I would. I gotta meet them at least one time. I have got to meet those two, because those are my spirit animals on this show. I love them. But let's move on to wrap the episode up. All right, guys, let's talk about Jen real quick, right? So Jen is in that closet. I'm like, girl, the FBI loves this, right? Like the money that you scam from the old people, they just love seeing that, right? Go for it. So she's talking to her nephew, and his name is Dwayne, I believe it is. And she said the family did an intervention with her when she and Sharif were going through a rough time. And she said, they're trying to work through it, right? So then Jen lost me, right? Because she said that her nephew called her saying that he wanted to get him and his family out of South Central LA. I guess that's what she was trying to say, right? So she said that she told him, okay, but she never responded back to him. But then later she called him. I'm like, girl, obviously he was asking for your help, because for a reason, and you ignored him. That's why I say Jen is a shitty individual. So then she calls Heather on FaceTime to meet up with Heather. Heather didn't even bat an eyelash. She said yes. I'm like, girl, I would not meet up with Jen at all. So they met up at this ice castle. I was like, wow, that's interesting. I don't know if the scenery of Salt Lake City is so beautiful, right? It's beautiful. But I don't do the cold like that. Like, I'm not going to sit in the cold and freeze my balls off. Absolutely not. So Jen says that she went to check in on Heather. I'm like, really? After you but you just insinuated that this woman is a racist. But girl, go off. I guess. So Heather says that she wants peace, but she doesn't feel that they had that. And I'm like, you sure the fuck don't have that with not this Tasmanian devil. So Heather says that she has an issue with some of the things that Jen has said, right? Like comparing her to a manatee, comparing her to Honey Boo Boo, and calling her a racist. Jen never once apologized to this woman for any of that stuff, right? Jen said that wasn't her, but Heather's like, babe, I have a screenshot right here that says Jen Shah right there, and that is you, because it has the blue verified check mark on your social media. And especially the one about her being a racist, I saw that one. One of the Housewives blogs reposted that. I saw that. That was definitely you, Jen. Stop fucking lying. Jen has a terrible issue with taking accountability for anything that she says. And then, in the same breath, Jen started playing like she's the victim. Like, I'm a brown-skinned woman, and I just don't feel like I fit in with this group. I feel like... I'm like, you're really not brown-skinned, babe. You're pale. You're pale because you bleach your skin too much. But go off. I'm like, you never once apologized to Heather. You literally just sat there and flipped it and reversed it back on you. It's all about you. And then Heather is the one that's in here basically saying, oh no, Jen, it's not like that. I'm your friend. I'm like, Heather, she just Jedi mind tricked your ass. You want an apology from her. But you ended up apologizing to her for nothing. You didn't do anything to this damn woman. It's got to be insufferable being friends with the likes of Jen Shah. Bravo. Go ahead and do what y'all are already doing. Phase her out and bring Jenny in. I'm cool with it. I like Jenny. But that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Leave your comments in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel. And hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else, and share the video. Until the next one, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed. And I'm going to catch you guys later. Bye, guys.